down 96.88% off its high. Is Nikola stock a buy right now? Well, that's the question I'm going to answer in this video, so you're going to want to stay tuned. Let's get right into it, starting with looking at Nikola's revenue. And what you'll notice is that it only recently started generating revenue. 60 million in its recent trailing. It's probably not even been 12 months that it's been generating revenue just yet. It's got some deals in place. It's increased the number of orders that it's making, but in the most recent quarter, its production decreased from the previous quarter as the company had difficulties ramping up production for a multitude of reasons. And so if the company's not yet generating a lot of revenue, you can imagine that it is losing a lot of money, and that would be correct. Nikola lost 151 million in its most recent quarter, although I will say management has done so far some steps forward in terms of reducing its operating losses. It divested in some areas of the business, it focused its operations, it laid off some people, so it's kind of focusing on the core now, shrinking the losses, getting more serious about operating this business sustainably and not generating so much negative cash flow, negative profitability. And you could see this in the cash flow from operations also. The company lost 180 million in cash flow from operations in the most recent quarter. And over the last few years, this has just been trending downward. As you might imagine, that would be the case if you just keep spending money without really ramping up production and ramping up sales. If you're just constantly in the research and development phase of the business, those dollars add up very quickly, and that they can lead to massive losses, which has been the case for Nikola. And so when the company is losing so much money in cash flow, I like to look at how much cash they actually have to see how long they have at this current rate. And for Nikola, it's not too long. They've got 121 million in cash, and they lost 180 million in the most recent quarter. So at this pace, they don't even have enough funds to end the quarter, and so you can understand why they've been reducing expenses. They're also trying to get approval to double the amount of shares outstanding, which will allow them to sell more stock to get more cash. It's a financing maneuver that will dilute shareholders, but at least it will give the company more cash so that it can get ramping in production, make sales, and fulfill the orders that it already has for some of its innovative truck technology. So that vote is gonna, well, I don't want to say a vote, but there's gonna be a change in Delaware corporation law in early August that should allow Nikola to issue those shares and raise that capital, although that's not a certainty. There is still some uncertainty around that, but it looks like they will be able to sell more stock to raise some cash to give itself more time. But still, this is not a good position you want to be in when you're a business trying to really ramp up and fulfill orders and make sales and make profits, right? Finally, I wanted to look at valuation, and the Nikola stock is trading at a forward price to sales of 3.593, down, significantly off its highs when it was trading at a forward price to sales over 30, but still not cheap in when you're thinking about a company that has as much risk as Nikola has. So, if I was to answer the question I posed in the beginning of the video, is Nikola stock a buy right now? I would say for me, no, it's not a buy. I like to see a company have more progress in terms of sales, profitability, cash flow, and a more sustainable business model before I invest in a stock. Now, I will say the company has a lot of potential and the stock price could explode in the near term, but it can also go downward in the near term, right? It's a very volatile stock. It can go up and down by 50, 60, 90, 80% in a month, in a week. So be prepared for that kind of volatility and understand that this is a very high risk stock, right? But for me, This is not for me. I would not recommend this stock as a buy. All right, but that's all I've got for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.